Let's start with the overview of minimal APIs. Minimal APIs in .NET 8.0. Minimal APIs are introduced in .NET 6, and these follows the streamlined approach. And these are the few characteristics of minimal APIs. It requires minimal setup and configuration, simplified programming model, and these are easy to build. Along with that, these are performant web APIs. Less boilerplate code is required and influenced by Express. How? Because if you know the Node.js and you have the development experience in Node.js, you might used Express.js. So the structure is almost like same, and that's why it seems to be influenced by Express.js. Next, few use cases and scenarios where we can utilize minimal APIs. First of all, microservices. When a complete system is divided into a couple of small independent applications, and those applications can be developed and deployed independently. Next, serverless applications where a server is not required. We can host this minimal API into a container, and these are called Azure functions in Azure and Lambda in AWS services. Next, whenever we need lightweight RESTful APIs, we can use minimal API template. Also, if we want a prototype or proof of concept, we can use minimal API template, which can give us a running sample application in very short time. Next, Internet of Applications backend services, and this is basically when the hardware, the Internet of Things, when set of devices wants to communicate with the API, so those APIs can be written in minimal API template. Next, we can also use minimal APIs for mobile backend APIs. Let's assume we have an application and we need some data. For some use cases, we can build APIs quickly and we can utilize those in our mobile applications. APIs for single page application, we can use minimal APIs for those. APIs for machine learning and data processing, we can use minimal API for that purpose as well. And if we need webhooks to receive some responses, we can expose an endpoint in a minimal API and we can receive that data. And also, whenever there is a project with small or medium size scope, we can use API for that project as well. And minimal API can only be used for the API purposes. It is not recommended to return views from minimal APIs. So that was a bit introduction of minimal API. Let's now jump into the environment setup. For the environment setup, we need to download Visual Studio from official website. I like the community version and I use that because it's open source and freely available. You might download different versions or editions as per your need. So for downloading, let's go to the Microsoft official website. So that was all for this video. See you in the next one.